First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Washington Redskins and the Chicago Bears. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The numbers there for Howard a week ago. 14 carries, 51 yards.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they're going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space.
And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll try to run for it with Howard. And now running right through it. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first, thanks to a flashy little spin move. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Eddie Goldman continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
A deep ball for Dotson. And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. Josh Doctson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Redskins have taken a first-quarter lead. Not a bad way to start it.
And I think that was part of their script, because so many teams script their opening possessions, and whether it's just that possession or even deeper into the half, sometimes it's 15 to 30 plays. That had to be one in there where they call a shot play. Go for the big one, and they got it done.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. On 1st down, Smith. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. The 30, the 20. Touchdown, Chicago. Tyreek Hill hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit him over the top.
And he is going to feel that one. Knocked down hard near the 25. to throw here. Completes it right side to Dodson. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Defensively, they just lost him. He was waving his arms saying, I'm wide open. They found it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting about when a receiver starts to wave his arms because some guys, right off the line of scrimmage, they declare themselves open. You know, those guys throw the one arm up, hit me right now. In this case, he was so wide open that he was frantically trying to get his attention to make sure he got the football. And then I'm sure his only thought when the ball was in the air, don't drop it. Had too much time to think.
And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to have a third down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about it.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out. He'll look to throw. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Call it a gain of 3. And that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Smith on 1st down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. To throw on 2nd down is Smith. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold. That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats, but really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time, and it's 3rd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They stop them after a gain of only 4, and that brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got his man. This is Jackson. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll set up a throw. They'll set up the screen to Howard. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 11 yards and time and a new set of downs.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place. As the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Out of the gun now on third down. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back to throw now on first down. He leads this one for Howard. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Now back to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the second quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the first half? Only able to get it to the 2-yard line on his return. Not going to make a lot of friends on your team when you only get it that far.
The final shot here before break. Smith. And this is incomplete. And Larry apparently very brief in his report. Thanks anyway, my man, as we're already set for action. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. On 1st and 10, Smith going underneath for Gordon. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Sua Cravens with a pick. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They'll run from the pistol with Howard. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. Now we've got whistles here before the snap. Was this on the Redskins? I think so.
False start, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. That'll be a gain of 16, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Got to love the catch. I think you got to love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They're becoming a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, and I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
So a good kick there, and they finish off the drive with 3.
And that should be the goal for an offense, finish each drive with points. So that's a nice job there to come away with at least something.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And his throw's going to kill that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Smith. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now Gino on 1st down. Far right side is going to be caught by Samuel. Touchdown, Chicago! And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
On the return, here's a speedy Jamison Crowder. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Again, here's P. Ryan. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Back to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. On first down, it's Smith. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Back to the air, Smith on second down. On target over the middle to Hill. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. The play clock's running down. Here's Smith now on second down. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. On first down, Smith. That one brought in by his tight end, Adam Shaheen. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back to the ground now with Gordon. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, you know, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a 4th quarter advantage. Now the handoff comes to Gordon, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. 1st and goal here from the 2. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll buy some time. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. How about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Lutz now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here come the Redskins now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Let's go! Green, 39!
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Time for a break. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Now we've got whistles here before the snap. Was this on the Redskins? I think so. The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. Jordan Reed was the intended target. And it's 2nd down. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and if he gets those shoulders right, that pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And Reed with it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. He's back to throw. His throw incomplete. He was looking for Jordan Howard that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And he finds the tight end, Reed. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. William Hayes in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He'll look to throw. It's brought in by Doxson. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. The decision to go for it pays off, and now they're set up 1st and goal. They'll look to throw. Dumps that off to his running back, Jordan Howard. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They'll drop to throw. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted.
Encroachment defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll look to throw here. And it's intercepted at the goal line. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And he'll be marked down at the 2-yard line. Well, they were obviously backed up. Had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it. And
yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play.
And this is caught. He's got it for a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, it's all going to come down to a 2-point conversion.
So they got the touchdown they needed to cut this to 2, but now they've got to get back to the huddle. No celebration time. Got to figure out what they're going to do on the 2-point conversion.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
With that penalty, they only need 1 yard for the 2-point conversion.
And that can make all the difference trying to get those 2 points, right? Inches count down here in short territory. Maybe now they can get the 2 points that they want a lot easier.
They'll try and run it in. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. And he is not going to reach the goal line. They were forced to go for it down 2, but the defense rises to the occasion, and they hold on to the... And now a fumble. The ball's out. They are on to the fourth quarter in Jacksonville, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. And the Jaguars have scored again, so they are in the driver's seat big time in that one. Blake Bortles, he was the story there with 4 touchdown passes. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though.
And this is incomplete, so no miracles here on the final play.
Before this week's game, make sure to install your game plan.